limang nakakatuwang pagkakaiba ng low carb at high carb. If meron kayong own experiences and you can tell kung ano ang pagkakaiba ng low carb at high carb, you can also put your own point of view kung bakit kayo nagsistay on low carb, or for those naman na nadapa or bumalik na sa high carb, you can also put your comments there kung bakit pinili nyo yung high carb. But for us, these are 5 of the common happy reasons kung bakit pinili namin ang low carb over high carb. And of course, this series is especially made for our upcoming National Low Carb Day. This coming Sunday na po. So, dalawang tulog na lang. Sa mga hindi pa nakaregister, today is our last day of registration to avail of the regular rate before kayo mag-avail meron ng surcharge of the late registration. So today is the last day for regular rates. So I hope you can check out. And remember po, yung ating virtual access, dun po kayo mag-register sa Low Carb Con PH. Virtual lang. But for those with hybrid face-to-face na access, dito po sa nationallowcarbday.com. Okay? Clear tayo dyan ha. Follow instructions properly. So, moving forward to limang nakakatuwang pagkakaiba ng low carb at high carb. Number 1 on our list would be sa, can you read, love?
1 to 2 meals per day.
In low carb
versus gutom every 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah, because sa low carb actually, 1 to 2 meals a day lang, okay na. And that is because yung kinakain namin in low carb is just purely mostly proteins and healthy good fats, and meron ding optional na vegetables. Pero marami itong meat. And eating meat, eating proteins and good fats, makakasustain siya sa pangangailangan mong energy throughout the day kahit pa hard labor yung ginagawa. Kahit pa kailangan mong magbuhat ng kung ano-ano, your body is capable of using fats as a source of energy when it is converted into ketones. Whereas, kung high carb ka, ikaw ay
gutom.
Gutom. Always gutom kapag itatry nyo yan. So, that's what I think Alvin told us last night, no? Na there was that one day na sumabay siyang kumain sa mga kasama sa bahay, and then that morning kumain siya ng sinangag, fried rice, and then instantly from 1 to 2 meals a day na low carb, bigla siyang napakain ng 5 meals that day, because yun yung nagagawa if you are always eating glucose, always fueling on carbohydrates. Yeah, addictive. It's really addicting. And it is addicting, hindi lang yan sa ating isipan, but it's also has something to do with our biochemistry, because kapag parati kang nakadepend on carbohydrates, on glucose, after 1 to 2 hours na pagkain mo niyan, babagsak yung blood sugar, so there will be a sugar crash. Okay? So pagkakaroon ng sugar crash, magdi-dip down yan, and yun, bigla kang mag-iisip at hahabulin mo na naman yung sugar high. But when you are fueling on ketones, and then you are, tawag natin dong flexible, you are metabolically flexible, you can easily shift from fats to glucose as a source of energy, hindi ka maghahabol sa sugar high because your source of energy is stable. So that's why isa yon sa number 1 na nakakatuwang pagkakaiba ng low carb and high carb, na kung saan sa low carb, 1 to 2 meals a day lang ay okay na. Whereas sa high carb, every 1 to 2 hours yung gutom. So that is actually equivalent to 5 to 8 meals in a day.
Kasali yung snacks na.
Oo, because if you are sleeping 8 hours a day, so 8 minus 24 hours, 16. Divided by 2. So that's 8 possible small frequent meals. Buti na lang kung meron kang control sa small. Pero kung large frequent meals, then it's probably the reason why sobrang dami pa rin yung merong may sakit ngayon. So moving forward to our second nakakatuwang pagkakaiba ng low carb at high carb.
Walang guilt sa low carb versus bloated na guilty pa sa high carb.
Yun yung sa high carb. At parati kong naririnig yan, yung mga nadadapa, yung mga Yung parating na dadala ng kung ano-anong high carb kasi merong excuse, merong birthday, merong celebration at hindi sila nakakapaghanda ng kanilang happy celebratory low carb meals. Yon, napapakain sila. And after that, ano yung kanilang nararamdaman? Bloated na, guilty pa. But in low carb, even if it's a feast, basta all low carb, walang guilt yan. Just all the goodness and happiness. Kaya yun yung parati nating prepare. That is why sa ating mga kasama sa ating Facebook groups na low carb feasting and fasting community, yan, walang guilty dyan. And of course, for those naman na nadadapa, huwag din mag-alala. You are always welcome to go back. No judgment. Walang judgment yan. Tatanggapin ka pa rin with open arms. And of course, hopefully, para hindi ka na madapa, you can prepare your own low-carb feast during special occasions and you can get inspiration sa ating group na Life Without Rice. So, that's our second na difference between high carb and low carb. And the third one would be
Mas mura ang low carb versus mahal na at may gamot pa sa high carb.
yeah, because akala nila ang low carb daw ay magastos. But actually, magastos lang yan if you don't plan it the right way. That's why in our upcoming National Low Carb Day, in our low carb workshop and cooking workshop, marami tayong mga na-prepare sa ating program to teach you how to prepare low carb that is sustainable and affordable. At merong mga kitchen tips galing sa mga pros natin sa low carb. We have Tito J, we have Dodong Gala, we also have our chef moms na magtuturo sa atin, and also low carb motherhood and fatherhood na magtuturo sa inyo ng tips kung paano masusustain yung low carb household. And yes, when it comes to low carb, if you will know how to prepare foods na mura and healthy, eventually mas makakasave kayo kasi wala nang need for medications, wala nang need for hospitalizations. And kung naka-high carb naman kayo, imagine you eating every 1 to 2 hours. So that's a lot of meals talaga in one day. So sobrang mahal na kahit pa isipin mong parang mura siya sa simula. But eventually it will be a lot more expensive, especially na meron kayong kakailanganing gamot. Kaya nga yung joke namin dito, no, oo, pwede lang naman kumain ka ng uminom ka ng soft drinks, pero samahan mo na ng antihistamine, samahan mo na ng metformin, samahan mo na ng kung ano-ano pang gamot because those foods will not just make you spend more sa food alone, but eventually it will make you spend more for your health. Kaya go with low carb. Hindi lang mura when it comes to your food na consumption, but it's going to be very cheap when it comes to taking care of your health.
Next, mas masarap ang low carb versus puro cravings ang high carb.
Yes, so anong ibig sabihin yan? Once you actually get to know more about low carb nutrition and low carb food, you will really see na sobrang sarap ng low carb in a way that it's going to satisfy you. Ibig sabihin, may hangganan, may katapusan yung pagkain mo when it comes to low carb way of eating. Hindi yung punong-puno na yung tiyan mo, so busog na busog ka na, but still you have that craving. And that is what happens to high carb. At akala nga ng iba, just because it's low carb, kailangan mo na mag-sacrifice na yung kakainin mo ay hindi na masarap. But ano yung na-learn mo recently, love?
Masarap yung low carb.
Masarap yung low carb, actually. Masarap talaga yung low carb. And yes, you can check out Life Without Rice for recipes, nakakatanggap na recipes, and kahit ano pang mga pagkain na paborito mo noon in high carb, ay for sure meron ng way for it to have a low carb counterpart. And lastly, sa ating fifth nakakatawang pagkakaiba ng low carb at high carb,
Nakakagaling na iwasakit pa sa low carb versus typical diet which will lead to lifestyle diseases.
yes, because sa ngayon, yung lifestyle diseases, nakasama yung high blood, yung fatty liver, yung obesity, metabolic syndrome, hypertension, even ang pagkakaroon ng cancers and tumors na hindi familial, most likely under sila sa umbrella ng lifestyle diseases. At ang mga cause nila, usually tinitingnan as idiopathic. Idiopathic meaning you can't really pinpoint kung saan sila nanggaling, especially yung mga walang family history. So, less likely caused by genetics. But if you will look closely, ito yung pinaka-importante sa lahat. That is actually just the typical diet. Yung hindi natin tinitingnan, hindi natin binibigyan ng emphasis because it's the normal nga. Ito yung expected na kakainin. But we don't know na yung expected pala, yung nakasanayan nating pagkain is also the same reason why bakit sa ating modern day times, no? Sa ating modern times, meron tayong modern day diseases. And if we only eliminate those, kung kakain tayo the same way as how our ancestors, yung mga ninuno sa ninuno natin, like millions of years ago, how they eat, and usually they eat mostly low carb kasi puro meat ang kinakain nila, paminsan-minsan root crops, mas paminsan-minsan yung fruits and wala pa pong grains, wala pang kanin, wala pang mais, wala pang tinapay because those are still byproduct of modernization starting with agriculture. And it's very, very far yan as compared sa nakasanayan talaga ng katawan natin, ng ating genetics. That is why when we go low carb, it's going back sa kung ano talaga yung nakasanayan ng katawan natin when it comes to nutrition. And that is why nakikita ninyo na when you do low carb para sa mga young and healthy, it's prevention. Nakakaiwas ng sakit. And for those naman na meron ng sakit, na diagnose na ng sakit, it's also not too late. Nakakagaling po siya, especially if you pair it up with the right and safe fasting. At yun yung ina-advocate natin. So I hope you can join our National Low Carb Day for us to know more and enjoy and celebrate this time na we will have a National Low Carb Day for everyone dito sa Pilipinas. And yes, low carb can help you heal and can help you prevent diseases. And if you go back to typical diet, that is your option, that is your choice. But just expect na baka hindi talaga ganon kamadaling iwasan na magkaroon din tayo ng lifestyle diseases. So, yan lang. Kung paano magsimula mag-low carb, nagtatanong si Gladys, you can tune into our YouTube channel. Marami na po dyan. You can just search simula sa low carb or beginners low carb and then Dr. Rojo. And then makikita nyo lang dyan, Dr. Rojo Tan. Yan, makikita nyo dyan. And there's a lot of videos on how to start low carb the proper way. So maraming salamat everyone. I hope to see you in the upcoming National Low Carb Day. So you can just send a message to our admins. Again, last day na po tayo for registration. Hope to see you face to face. And of course, since this is going to be a very big event, baka hindi tayo magkaroon ng time talaga na makapag-picture. But if you want to go up close and personal, we will have an exclusive dinner right after the event. Just message our admins in this number to know the details. And I hope to see you there. Maraming salamat. See you in the PhilInvest tent in Alabang, Muntinlupa City. And for virtual access sa mga hindi makakarating, just message or log into Low Carb Con PH. Okay? Low Carb Con PH is for virtual. Okay? Online to. Online attendance. At sa mga magpa-face-to-face naman, go to nationallowcarbday.com. Okay? I'll see you then. Maraming salamat po, everybody. Remember to always stay low carb so that we all stay safe. Maraming salamat. Bye! Bye na tayo. Bye, everyone!